Where are you at, the viewers of the Rokani Media Football? And from today onwards, you are gonna be watching me live on this channel. At least once or twice, we'll be streaming live on this channel to obviously bring you the latest news and information as far as your teams are really concerned. I know I've gonna hit obviously share this video. Has it been worth the wait? I don't know, but I'm sorry for the delayed in there for you. But I think by the end of this video, would have gonna hit obviously enjoy everything that is gonna hit obviously come onto our notice. Smash the like button, comment and share if you're really watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and I hope you guys are really having fun wherever you are, and we're here to bring you the latest news and information as far as everything is really concerned. Youssouf Fofana to Arsenal talks have been held. Guys, seriously, Arsenal are in for this guy, and we don't know how long it's really gonna take Arsenal for, but I tell you what, it is really one of those transfers to look at. And obviously the very credible source coming in from France known as Liquipi has come out and obviously told us about that deal of Fofana. Now, exclusive coming in through from Fabrizio Romano on as far as Memphis Depay is said to part ways as a free agent. And how many times is he gonna do it? In a space of like 3-4 years, the guy is really making in more money. And lastly, we are going to be discussing about Rodrygo. Remember, Madrid is playing in the Champions League finale today at Wembley against a side called Borussia Dortmund, and he obviously gives us a recap on how Madrid has gonna hit obviously get into the finals of the Champions League. So we are here to obviously talk for fun, and we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David is my name, and you people are loved, and show love to this channel by smashing the like button close to 300 times in here for you. Now, it's no longer secret that amongst the 4 players that Arsenal is looking for in this summer transfer window in 4 different positions, a midfielder is among. I think you can all agree with me, and you've got to see it that Arsenal are willing to spend the lion's share of their budget to bring in midfielders into their team. And those 4 positions include a left back, a central midfielder, a striker, and a right winger. Those are the 4 positions that Arsenal are really looking at to obviously sign a player in. And not forgetting that there is another player that is already at Arsenal that Arsenal is head to obviously see to it that they make his move permanent no sooner the summer transfer window opens on the 14th of this month. And remember, today is 1st of June in my country where I'm broadcasting from. It's the 1st of June, meaning that we are just 13 days away from the summer transfer window opening and 17 days away from the Premier League fixture to be released. You now know exactly what you're talking about. So this is why Fofana to Arsenal is really a huge topic that is really hot. And guess what? A credible source coming in through from France has come out and really told us the following: that Youssouf Fofana will leave AS Roma this summer. Arsenal, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, and PSG have had discussions with his entourage. Have you heard? Arsenal, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid, and PSG have already had discussions with his entourage. That's what we've been told. Now, does Youssouf Fofana tick the boxes of Arsenal? I'll tell you yes. To bring you up to speed, even last summer of 2023, as Arsenal was going in for Declan Rice, we saw Sammy McBell, tier 1 journalist who works for the Daily Mail in the English side, and Liquipi, that is reporting this story, confirming to us that if Arsenal missed out on signing Declan Rice, their other option was to go in and sign Youssouf Fofana. That is it. And they got Declan Rice, and they were like, why should we go in for Youssouf Fofana, you know? So Arsenal have decided to see to it that they do the needful and obviously put him back onto the list because they feel like he's one of those midfielders that they really want. Now, let me ask you, Do you think he is that kind of player that can come into the Arsenal side to replace Thomas Partey? Because we all know that the signing in of a new CDM or a new midfielder at Arsenal depends on the decision that Arsenal is going to take on Thomas Partey. But the reason as to why we are seeing a huge lineage of these players linked to the side of Arsenal is because Thomas Partey's door to Arsenal, all out of Arsenal, has already gone ahead to be opened, and very soon he's going to be sold. But we all know that as Arsenal being a competent club, they cannot sell Thomas Partey without getting in his replacement. That's what any competent club really does, and that's what exactly Arsenal is all about. They don't want to sell Fofana they don't want to bring in a midfielder before they really get Thomas Partey out. But who is Fofana? Fofana is a 25-year-old player who plays for Monaco, and I've gone ahead to see him on several occasions wear the captain armband, meaning that he has the leadership skills that you would want to bring into your team. He's 25 years of age, and he made 25 years of age on the 10th of January this year. He's 1.8 meters tall, and I think if you're looking in for the exact replacement of Thomas Partey, this is the guy. This is the guy, and for him, he's still young. He's not an injury-prone player, and he's really great. And this season, he has gone ahead to play how many games for Monaco? He has played 32 games for Monaco, 4 goals and 4 assists. And in the French Cup, he played 3 games, 0 goals and 0 assists. And he was one of those players that played in the Emirates Cup in 2023. And he went ahead to score a goal against Arsenal. You remember that very, very well. So that is Fofana for you. He's part of the squad of France that's going to be playing in the Euros, and in the Euro qualifiers, he has going to hit to play 5 games, 2 goals and 1 assist. In the World Cup, he played 6 games. So it shows you that he's really that kind of player that is going to hit to dislodge very many others. And I'm just waiting to see whether he's really going to dislodge N'Golo Kante out of that French team, because N'Golo Kante is now part of the French team. I've gone ahead to see him arrive in the camp of the French national team ahead of the Euros, and he's charged to see to it that he goes in for this big occasion, to see to it that he really takes it on. But it looks like Fofana has gone ahead to convince Deschamps that he's really one of those guys that needs obviously coming through and put in a shift. Now, talking Fofana, let's obviously see his injury record and see whether he's really that kind of guy that ticks the box of not being an injury-prone player that every team would love to see to it that every player they bring in doesn't really have what we call injury proneness into his career. When you look at Fofana, this season he has been out for 3 days, and he was just ill. He has missed 1 game. In the previously concluded season, he missed out on 1 game because of having an illness. In 2021, 2022, meaning that in the season of 2022, 2023, he never missed out on any game. He was available every time his team needed him. In the season of 2021, 2022, he missed out on 2 games because of coronavirus, and you all know it was really a very huge game. He last had a very serious injury in the season of 2019-2020, from the 11th of August 2019 to the 2nd of October 2019. He was out for 52 days, and he was out for 15 games, and he had an ankle sprain. That is Fofana for you. You get? So that is Fofana for you. He ticks the box of being a player who is going to be readily available. You understand? So you now know why Arsenal is keeping its tabs onto this guy, because he's really very, very, very good. And that's a box of not being injury prone that he has gonna hit obviously tick. And I tell you what, everyone will be like, that is the guy I really need obviously coming through and do the needful. And secondly, he can play as a CDM, right? He can play as a box-to-box midfielder. That is Fofana for you. Now, the other box that he ticks is the leadership. He's a leader, and if you're really having Fofana in your team with Declan Rice in there for you, who was also captain at West Ham, you add Fofana, a captain of Monaco, then you really add another leader into that dressing room, because leaders are born, you get, and you are having players that really know what winning is all about and how to lead the teams is, and what lead the team really requires, and that is another box that he ticks. The other box is the age, 25 years of age. I think Arsenal, amongst the top 6 clubs in the Premier League, has the most youngest average aged team because look at even their goalkeeper. He's, I think, 27 years of age. Benjamin White, 25. Julian Timber is like 23, I think. You talk about Saliba, 23. Gabriel Magalhaes, I think, is now 25, right? He's going to all 25, 26. Declan Rice is 25 years of age. Odegaard, 25 years of age. You talk about Bukayo Saka, is going to make 23. Gabriel Martinelli is going to make 23. Kai Havertz, I think, is going to make 25. That is the squad of Arsenal, and that's their age. So he ticks that box of the age, and he is really young, and he is going to hit his prime, because most players hit their prime at the age of 25, 26. He has the physicality to match other teams in the Premier League, and I think he's not going to cost Arsenal a lot of money, because he's left with just 1 year on his contract, and this side of Monaco is at the weakest point ever. So to it that if they don't sell him this summer, they are gonna miss him out, and he's gonna be living on a free next summer, meaning that whatever money comes in through, they'll have to welcome it, because they are really having the worst negotiation power ever. You understand? And to bring you up to speed, let me tell you what his game was like into the Serie A this season. And I think I should read to you his passing. He had 4 assists in the League One. Expected assists 4.73. Touches 70.3. That is per 90. Big chances created 7. Key passes, he averages 1.3 per game. Accurate pass 45, and that makes a percentage of 83% of his passes. In his own half, he makes 91% accurate passes in his own half. In the opposition half, he makes 77%. Then long balls, he has an accuracy of 49% per 90, and for the chipped balls or chipped passes, 43% accurate per 90, and then accurate crosses 21%, meaning that he rarely goes onto the out wide right or left to bring in those crosses. Defending, he averages 1.2 interceptions per 90, tackles 1.92 tackles per 90. Then possession won, he wins 0.9 duels per 90. Then balls recovered per game 7.2. Oh my god, that is really huge. He has a very huge ball recovery rate. He has 7.2. You understand? Then dribbled past per game, it's 1.1 times, meaning that it's rare to obviously dribble past this guy. Then clearances per 90, 1, and then error led to shot in the entire season was 1, and error led to goal was 0. Error rate to a penalty 1 in the entire season. Now we go to the successful dribbles. 60% of his dribbles per 90 are really successful. Then total duels won 50%, that is 4.7. That means wins 50% of his duels. Then ground duels won 50%, and air duels won at 52%. And possession lost, he lost possession 14 times, and fouls 1.2. So that is the guy with 3 yellow cards in the entire season and 0 red cards into the season. So that is Youssouf Fofana, and I tell you what, he's really going to be one of the players that teams are going to be looking at hugely this season. His heat map is so much into the middle of the park, and he wears shirt number 19 and plays as a central midfielder. He plays with a right foot, and his strengths are positioning, playmaking, and high pressing. You know, he has no outstanding weakness as a player at that caliber. So you now know the kind of player that Arsenal is really looking at, and they're in talks. Meaning that if they're in talks, there is a possibility that Arsenal can go in for him, you know, and we might see a shocking transfer window for Arsenal. You get? I've been one of those that I'm going to recommend Arsenal to go in for finished products. But if you can't get in Bruno Guimaraes for £100 million, or Douglas Luiz for 105, or Zubimendi sorry about that or Zubimendi for like £60 million, why not go in for this guy? Why not go in for Fofana? Why not go in for Fofana? You understand? I think it's better you go in for Fofana, because I know he can really do exactly what Thomas Partey has been doing, and he can do that job and elevate the team to the next level. And I know there must be a big team in the Premier League, apart from Arsenal, that is really willing to sign the player. Now, the huge question is, the teams that are going to be talked about that are in need of him. 1, AC Milan. AC Milan is a side that is very promising. Atletico, Madrid, 2-1 PSG. But all those three teams, when I look at them, the only way they can obviously get this guy and get signed to their teams is when Arsenal pulls out. Or maybe when Arsenal comes in through and says, we are not so much into this guy, you know, and we are willing to obviously to that this doesn't go our way. Let's go in for let's go in for Zubimendi, all Douglas Luiz, or Bruno Guimaraes. But the price is really huge, and wait to see how Arsenal is really going to do the needful, because Arsenal are like, we cannot buy Bruno Guimaraes for £100 million. Newcastle, we want the player is willing to come to Arsenal, but we are not willing to trigger off that buyout clause, and we don't know exactly how that is really going to end. And Arsenal is in the Champions League. They're really an attractive project, and when you look at Fofana going to PSG, when there is Arsenal, he'll be like, wait a minute, I have a chance to be playing the best league in the world, compete for the title with Man City, and even compete in the Champions League, you know. And when you look at my age, I'm 25, it might take me 3 seasons to see it that I leave PSG to go to Arsenal next time, and maybe there'll be better midfielders that Arsenal will be looking at. That really gives him a reason to think about that I should go to Arsenal. The same applies to AC Milan. You know, you go to AC Milan, you have to play 2 seasons for AC Milan to sell you. You get? And they might sell you, but will they sell you to Arsenal? Or will they sell you to any other team? I think Arsenal really have a very big edge over this signing, especially if at all they really put in the shift. But talks are going to be held, and we know to it that even last season, Arsenal held talks with the Fofana side, and they ended up not going ahead to obviously give them what they wanted. And I think this time, the guy wants to move. And Arsenal might really stop and really shift to signing this guy, especially when you look at the fixtures that France is going to be having into the Euros, you know. And he's really one of those players that you anticipate that he's really going to be playing good into the Euros. When you look at France in the Euros and their fixtures, if this guy happens to get a goal, I tell you, he's going to really dislodge his enemies. Austria, 17th June. Netherlands, 21st June. Poland, 25th June. I anticipate that Fofana might obviously come up to have a very huge tournament, and when he gets a very huge tournament, he might really increase on the teams that really want to sign him. I expect a team like Real Madrid to obviously kick in, because when you look at Real Madrid, you understand they have gone ahead to find themselves in a position, right, of losing out on Toni Kroos, and they need a replacement. And with Fofana having just 1 year left on his contract, they might look at him as an easy bargain for the side of Real Madrid. And for Real Madrid and French players, it's like they are having a very huge bond, and they make it easy for them to obviously see these players move to their side. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out. But I tell you, it's not going to be as easy as expected because of the competition. But the worrying bit is that he's not among the first 3 choices of central midfielders that Arsenal would need. I've gone ahead to see Zubimendi, Douglas Luiz, and Bruno Guimaraes making it to the top list of players that Arsenal need. But Youssouf Fofana or Youssouf Fofana joins the league of the list of midfielders that Arsenal are really interested in, and we just can't wait to see how things are really going to pan out into the mix. So that's what we heard about this guy. But all I want to let you know that let's keep an eye onto his deal. You never know, he might be crossing to Arsenal depending on the financial situation of Arsenal. And we all know that Mikel Arteta is going to be returning from these holidays to obviously hold deeper discussions with Edu, to obviously epitomize onto their list of players that they are willing to obviously sign. Now, there is another player that left Lyon as a free agent, and he's now going to leave Atletico Madrid as a free agent. That player goes by names of Memphis Depay, and I won't be surprised when he's being linked to very many big clubs. And it's an exclusive coming in through from Fabrizio Romano, Mr. Here We Go. He said Memphis Depay and Atletico Madrid are set to part ways with Dutch player leaving as a free agent. Understand there will be no automatic extension for next season, and Memphis will be free to pick his next club. One more big name to follow on the market. So Memphis Depay is leaving Atletico Madrid on a free. Now, I don't think they're going to miss out on a lot of money, because they never signed him on a high from Barcelona, you know, because they loaned João Felix to Barcelona, and Barcelona gave him this guy. It was really part of the deal, and it was like they got him for free, and they still have João Felix, and they still want close to 60 million euros from João Felix. But Memphis Depay is that kind of player that his career has gone ahead, obviously not live up to the expectations, according to me. Depay would have gone ahead to offer better, but he hasn't. And this season, he has gone ahead to obviously come in through and play 23 games for Atletico Madrid, 5 goals and 1 assist. That is Memphis Depay. So, with all what they've gone ahead to offer in the Champions League, 3 games and 1 goal, that is Memphis Depay, 30 years of age, and is going to be going the Euros. I think with him looking for a new team to obviously play for, he's really going to put his body on the line to high performances during the Euros, and very many teams obviously come in for him. And Memphis Depay is that lucky that at the age of 30, he still has very many teams that might obviously look at him. Teams like Inter Milan, AC Milan. In the Premier League, you might find out teams like Newcastle. The team I support, like Manchester United, might obviously show huge interest into the player. Though I wouldn't like him to come to Manchester United. Teams like West Ham and very many other teams in the Premier League might obviously show huge interest in him. And you don't rule out Liverpool, because they're having a Dutch manager, and maybe who would obviously advocate to bring in a player like him because of his experience in the Champions League, and he is really a man who can really score goals, and he's a versatile player. He can play as a right winger, he can play as a left winger, he can play as a center forward, and I can play as a number 10 for any team. That is Memphis Depay for you. But I remember him when he came in throughout Manchester United. He was really that aggressive young man, and Louis van Gaal, but he was later sold to the side of Lille. And here we come to see to it that the manager of the national team of Netherlands has come out and confirmed to us that yes, Memphis Depay will look for a new club. And the list of new clubs that he might be playing in for are not yet out. And the plan is simple. Use the Euros to be the marketing platform for your next club. I think that's the plan for Memphis Depay, that he's planning to use the Euros to see to it that he gets himself in that ilk of obviously being ready to see to it that all goes his way. So we wait and see how that is really gonna panning out in here. But Memphis Depay is a very good player for me that I'm gonna hit to love for a very long period of time. But I think he has been unlucky in his career. Goes at Barcelona, finds himself being thrown under the bus by Barcelona. You know, his quality is not all that a top match, but he has those qualities of a modern player, because a modern player has to be having a very high intensity, aggressive, and he has that do or die, and he's clinical, by the way. He has an eye for goal, though he sometimes does a lot. For me, he's one of those free kick specialists that the world is going to hate to be left with right now, because he does his job very, very well. And we know today that Real Madrid is going to be playing Borussia Dortmund in the UEFA Champions League finale. And guess what? Rodrygo is one of those that is going to be celebrating what he does best. And he has come out and spoken on how they got to the Champions League final, and the team they were afraid of was Man City. And he said, to be honest, we knew Man City were better in the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal versus Real Madrid. For me, it is the team, it is the best team in the world, the one that plays the best football. Obviously, Man City is the best team in the world, though they are not into the Champions League final, but we all know that they outplayed Real Madrid, and Real Madrid just braved through to take them to the penalties, and that's where they obviously won the game. But it shows you how Man City is going to hit obviously shift from an underdog to being a favorite in every game they really got hit to play. You remember those days when Man City couldn't obviously be what we call the favorite, and now Man City are really the top guys that even players like Rodrygo are really talking about, that they are the best team in the world. And remember, this is a Madrid player with a very huge mentality when it comes to obviously talking levels and what they offer. So this guy is calling Man City the best team in the world. You get? And he's playing for Real Madrid. It shows you how far Man City has gone ahead to work. And the huge work Man City went ahead to put in never really got lost. When you look at Man City and what they've gone ahead to put out, it's really one of those moments that you have to obviously understand that they're a team that deserves kudos on how they've gone ahead to promote players and really recruit players. And this project started way back, like I think a decade and 5 years back. You know, I remember when Shinawatra bought the side, then Abdabi came in through and took over, I think in 2009, 2010, and they've been here for like 15 years. That shows you the competency of this team and how they've gone ahead to obviously turn it to be one of the best teams in the world, that even Real Madrid is now afraid of them and respects them each and every time they are playing them to be the underdogs. CJ, you've gone ahead to let us know that Youssouf Fofana is a very good midfielder. Yeah, he is. And I also love the quality of him. Balaza Kamara, I always enjoy your programs, brother. Keep doing your good job. All right, I'm keeping doing my job, and nothing's going to stop me from doing my job. And I think we have come to the end of the start of this video, and hope you guys are going to hit to enjoy it. Continue to subscribe, because we want to hit 22,000 subscribers, and your reactions to every story that we've gonna hit to talk about are welcome in the comment section below. And how do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has what subscribe. After smashing it, hit the notification bell. That will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel. For the side of the membership, there is a join button, black in color. You can as well click on it and obviously subscribe to our membership package that we obviously bring in through, because very soon we'll start to bring you content for members only onto this beautiful YouTube channel. But it has been nice watching you. Close to 60 people have been watching me live in the late hours of the night. I'm gonna try one during the day and see how many of you are really gonna come up to really flock onto this YouTube channel to obviously get to know what the news is all about. It has been Fofana to Arsenal talks held. Then we are having a man living as a free agent looking for his next destination. That is Memphis Depay. And lastly, there is a story about Rodrygo, who is going to be playing Borussia Dortmund tomorrow or today in the Champions League final at Wembley, respecting Man City for the job they do. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokan David is my name. 5 fingers out to everyone watching through the Muslims. Barakallahu fikum. We out.